Hey guys, it's Frank here from Altcoin Buzz, and I have mixed feelings about today's video because I know a lot of you will not be very happy about it. So I just want to remind you that I did give you guys this call, Ethereum about to explode. July 11th, I drew this blue box in here for when you could buy. This is actually the ETH BTC pair, but this also marked the ETH USD bottom, and from here we went from about $240 to almost $400, so I was very bullish on Ethereum then. I also made this video why Ethereum will hit $1,000, which I still very strongly believe we will not only hit that, but much higher easily over the next few years. That being said, right now I am seeing some warning signs that Ethereum might be about to correct. So that's what this video is about. If you enjoy this content and want to see more of it, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification button as it really helps to support the channel. Before I get started, I just want to let you know that I am not a financial advisor and that trading and investing presents financial risks.
Now this video is going to be a little bit different from the analysis that you see on most Ethereum videos. If you look at the last day, Ethereum to 500, Ethereum on fire, Ethereum to 500 to 1,500, Bitcoin breakout, Ethereum on fire. So everyone is so bullish on Ethereum. And honestly, I am very bullish on Ethereum. Long term, I think it's awesome. I think the hype around the ETH 2.0 is huge. And I do believe we will see some monster moves coming up. That being said, I'm a technical analyst. And when I see certain things happening in charts which indicate that the price is about to reverse, I can't help but have doubt in my mind. So there are a few factors now which are very concerning for me. First of all, these factors would lead me to definitely not want to be buying into this market, at least not right now. Now, of course, I'm talking also about lower timeframes more specifically. The weekly and the daily timeframe are showing some warning signs, but even on the monthly, I'm going to show you one warning sign. Now, have a look at the level, the price level we're at right now, okay? What you want to do is you want to go to the history of this price level and see what happened when we reached it. So back in 2017, we had a monster run here. Of course, this was when Ethereum pretty much had just come out. It had only been a few months. So we went all the way from $17 to $416. So that was insane run, right? But then what happened at 416, we had a 66% dump all the way to $138. Now, what happened the next time we reached this 400? This was actually a little bit lower even. This was only the $390 level, but still very close to this zone. The next time, bam, we had a 40, almost 50% dump down to the $193 level, okay? So right now, we're at 393. We came to 414, exactly these same levels we were talking about, where we came all the way down to $132. Now, I'm not saying that's gonna happen now. In fact, I think that's extremely unlikely because we have solid support in this area. But what I'm showing you is that Ethereum is an extremely volatile asset. That's exactly what I'm trying to get across to you in this video, that nothing goes up in a straight line and that you will see big moves to the downside, even if we have big moves to the upside. So I just want to make sure that you're not FOMOing into a position now, expecting that we're never going to see like $300 again. Like that would just be very naive. If you're a trader, and even if you're an investor, you have to look at what the worst case scenario is. If you're buying now, ask yourself, how much of a hit can you really take before you would have to sell, before you would just have too much fear and just be like, okay, this is too much of a loss, I have to come out. So let's say you're buying $1,000 worth of Ethereum at the price of 400 to make it simple. Now, are you comfortable losing $500? In other words, having the price go down to $200? Are you comfortable making a $500 loss on that $1,000? Will you keep on holding that position? If the answer is no, you should definitely not be buying now. If the answer is yes, and also that you're planning to pretty much never sell Ethereum, at least for the next year or two, then sure, you're very likely to see previous highs, see massive gains, turn your 1,000 into
3,500,
and probably even more when we reach new highs. But let's just come back down to earth for a second. So again, we reached $412. We had a 70% dump pretty much down to $130 or so. We reached 387. We had a 50% dump down to $191. Now, the other very interesting thing is that once we crossed this level, Ethereum went parabolic and we just saw this massive 260% gain. You see that we came down to this level, pretty much the $393 level. We had a huge bounce from there. We came back again. We had another big bounce here another sort of 100% move. But then the next time we broke it, all hell broke loose and we went onto this multi-year bear market. And also what happened was the next time we reached even close to this level, this was 360, we had a huge dump, 77% dump down to $87. So guys, we have not broken this level, okay? We are literally right at this hugely critical level. And I say hugely critical because I'm looking at the monthly time frame, and this is the highest time frame that makes sense to look at on Ethereum, given that it's only been around for 5 years. So what this tells me is, well, first of all, I would not be buying here, no chance in hell. And the reason for that is very simple. It's based on two factors. The first factor is that I think that it's likely that we will correct before reaching $500, and I think that we will have a correction of at least 30% before that time. So let's say, for example, we do reach $500. Well, a 30% correction from there would take us down to $350. And even if I'm wrong and we reach $555, a 30% correction from there would take us right back down to the level we're at. Now, I would much rather be buying this if we have a break of this critical level and then come back down to test it, as opposed to, and then of course going for a new move up, as opposed to buying now when we are literally at this most critical level. I watched about 3 videos on Ethereum technical analysis just to see what other people are saying, and I'm just amazed that no one has pointed this out. So again, just to summarize how important this level is, we are on the monthly time frame, pretty much the most important time frame that you will see on Ethereum. We had a resistance from 394 zone once. We had another resistance again. We came back down, tested it for a big move up. We came back down, tested it for another solid move up. When we broke below it, all hell went loose for years, and now we're at this level again. This is not the time to be buying Ethereum. Okay, this is not financial advice, although you won't lose anything if you don't buy Ethereum right now because you won't be buying anything. But really, guys, I would not recommend you to FOMO in right now. There will be good times to buy. And honestly, guys, even if I'm wrong and we go on a massive pump without a 30% correction and we reach $600, we reach $700, even then, there will be a massive correction to buy it. Even if we come to let's say we come to $700, all right, I'm wrong. Like, do you think that we will never see a 30% correction? If you think that we will never see a 30% correction in Ethereum, you have not been in crypto for very long. Ethereum will see a 30% correction minimum over the next several months, no doubt about it. And just to illustrate how likely that is, let's just have a look at previous corrections on the weekly chart. Okay, so we're on the weekly chart now. So let's just have a look at this move up here to give you guys some perspective on how much Ethereum can and is likely to correct given its history. So again, after this first big move up, we talked about this already, 67% dump. After the next move up, 50% dump. Even this little dump over here is, well, 25%. Okay, we came up here, we corrected 26%. Came up here, we corrected 44%. And this was in the middle of the parabolic move up, okay? People were super bullish on Ethereum, and they had every right to be. We had just crossed this critical level of the $400 zone. But even then, we saw a 43% dump from here, okay? And of course, when we reached the top, well, then, of course, we saw a monster dump before seeing another move up, 46%, another move up. Then we came down again. Of course, this is a bear market, so it's a little bit less relevant in the sense that right now, we have higher highs and higher lows on the monthly chart. We have a high here, a low here, higher high, higher low, higher high. We're in a bull market, so it makes sense to look at bull markets. And for example, let's look at this bull market. We had a high here, higher low, higher high, came down. Let's see how much we corrected here. Here we corrected 23%. All right. Here we corrected 22%. So all right, in conclusion, what you can see in bull markets is that we have corrections ranging from about 22% to about 45%. So that's where I get my 30% figure from, since it's just a rough estimate. But obviously we could see a bigger correction like the 46% or 45% range. We could see a slightly smaller, 22%, but as I say, I think 30% is a safe number to assume that we will correct. And me personally, if I see a 30% correction, I'll be buying like crazy. But by the same token, I will not be buying until we have crossed this critical level. Because when you're buying, you generally want to be buying low and selling high, right? So the price now compared to the past 20 weeks is high because it's higher than the prices we saw before. Ethereum has made a 358% move up from its lows back in March 2020. And in that whole move up, we saw once a 23% correction, we saw a 15% correction. Actually, right here on this dump, we saw, well, I think it was 20%. You can't see it on the weekly chart, but it was about 20% correction. So yeah, again, this may sound very bearish to you, but just because I'm not buying here doesn't mean that I don't think it's going to go up more. I'm just saying that from the bigger picture, and when I say the bigger picture, I mean the weekly, the monthly chart, this does not look like a good entry point. It looks like a very strong market, don't get me wrong. We have solid volume coming here on the weekly. We have broken important highs at the $291 level. Pretty important. If you look on the weekly, you can see that we resisted from this level, found support, and we resisted again. So it's a good sign that we've crossed this level. But really, I'm looking at the monthly chart, and the most critical level I'm looking at right now is really this $415 level. All right, now let's have a look at the weekly RSI. What do you see here? This is a parallel channel. What does this mean? It means we have two parallel lines on the top and the bottom. And where do you see that we are in this channel? Are we at the top or at the bottom? We are at the top, right? We are right now in an RSI of 78. Now, of course, I'm painting this bearish because I have this parallel channel and it looks very pretty that we're at the top, and it looks like we're probably going to correct and come back down to either the mid zone or to find support down here. But of course, the reality is that we're seeing higher highs compared to the previous RSIs, which is a bullish sign. Nonetheless, this channel here has 1, 2, almost 3, and now I personally think that we won't get much above this, so we'll probably have a fourth touch here. The bottom here, we have 1, 2, 3 touches. So again, this is just another sign
that this is not a good time
to get into Ethereum. Now the MACD is not telling us anything bearish at all. We just have higher highs here. Nothing to be concerned about here. Now, all this being said, I am not shorting Ethereum, and nor do I recommend that you do so.
Shorting
tops is a very, very difficult strategy and can be very tempting, especially if you're a contrarian type of thinker like me. I like to do what most of the crowd isn't doing. Well, of course, investing in crypto is already doing what most of the crowd isn't doing. But in the crypto crowd, as you've seen from these videos of the last day, everyone talking about Ethereum going to reach new highs, which of course it will eventually. I think that people are getting a little bit too bullish. Of course, this crypto fear and greed index represents Bitcoin greed and fear, but this is registering pretty high levels. 4th of August source at 75. We've only crossed this level several times in all of Bitcoin's history. Now, of course, Ethereum has risen even more than Bitcoin. So you can imagine that Ethereum's greed level is very high right now. Again, not a good time to be buying into the market. Now, one of the reasons that I'm not shorting here is that we have already had a 22% correction. Again, I'm looking for corrections which are anything between 22 and 40%. So considering that we've already had one of these corrections, I think it's quite possible that we have another push up here before making another move down. Now, if I had to make a guess, and this is pure speculation, I have a feeling that a lot of people might be trying to short Ethereum approaching this $415 level, and then the whales will stop them out by pushing the price up even higher to maybe the 450 at most. I think I'd be surprised if it even gets there, and then have it come crashing down for a correction. That's my personal guess, because that just seems to make the most sense. If I was a huge Ethereum whale, I would see a lot of amateur traders looking to short this top over here at 415. They would have their stops at maybe 420, maybe 430, maybe 440. Very few of them would have their stops above 450. So they would take advantage of all these stops, make everyone buy Ethereum, and then they would just bam, sell it before we get to the 450 level and take us crashing down. Note that my interpretation of this could change very quickly depending on price action. But another reason why I think this might happen is the RSI. So have a look at the daily RSI over here. The daily RSI has currently just gone above the 90 level. Now, let's have a look at the last times the RSI reached this level. I'm telling you right away, it's not pretty. So let's zoom back to the first time that we hit this 90 level. We saw a 23% correction. Then we hit this 90 level again, and we saw a much heavier 40% correction. And then, of course, we had a bearish divergence over here. So you can see we had a lower low here on the RSI at 78 compared to this previous high of 93. but the price closed at a higher high. So the initial price was $45, and then we closed at $55. So naturally, we were expecting a much bigger dump, and from that top, we saw a 30% dump. But okay, let's go back to the times that we hit 90 on the RSI. The next time we hit 90 on the RSI was on the 24th of May 2017. What happened here? From the top over here, we saw a 46% dump. Okay, let's have a look at the next time we reached this 90 RSI. This was back on 12th of June 2017. What happened over here? Well, I have to zoom out of my chart just to show you how big of a dump this was. But this was when we went from 416
all the way down to 138.
So a 67% dump. So again, this is why if people tell me they're buying Ethereum now, I'm like, okay, you're probably not a technician, because this is clearly not a good level to be getting into Ethereum.
Now guys, in terms of fundamental news, unfortunately there is also some bearish news. Now this was actually very bullish news, and to be honest it still is bullish news, but the problem is that after today this is not news anymore. There's no more hype building up towards the Ethereum 2.0 final testnet. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago about how this could lead to another huge big run, and it did. But now this news, we are 5 o'clock in Bali. That means we are very early morning in America. So I just don't see many people waking up and saying, oh, let's buy Ethereum today. So it's very possible that we don't even cross this $416 level. Now, I wouldn't be so bold as to predict that specifically because we do have such a strong move up. But this is, again, just another strong warning sign. If you haven't taken any profits on your Ethereum position, if you already have a 60% profit, it doesn't hurt to take some profit. It doesn't make you lose anything. And don't forget that even if Ethereum starts pumping like crazy now, you can always just wait for another correction. One thing which I like to do is to have buy orders anywhere between 20 and 40% below the current price, because that way you can take advantage of these flash crashes where the price just very quickly but very shortly lands anywhere between 20 and 40% below the current price. And as I say, even if we go to $520, $600, if we go to $600, you can have buy orders in the pretty much the exact price we're at right now, 417. And I think personally there's a very good chance they'll get filled. That being said, please remember that we are in a very bullish market right now. We have a lot of volume on the weekly, and the reality is that we are going to see huge highs. We are going to reach $1.5 thousand, which is a 270% increase in price. I think it's very likely that we will even see new highs and get to 3,000. Why not? There's so much development on Ethereum. Crypto is so exciting. DeFi, all the use cases, Ethereum 2.0, like of course it's going to happen. So again, this is zooming out just to give you guys the bigger picture. And if you're hodling, then all I can say is congratulations, hodl on, hold on to those balls of steel, and good for you. If you're trading, if you're a little bit nervous about having made a lot of money recently and you're wondering whether or not you should sell, probably sell a little bit. If you're wondering whether or not to buy right now, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that if I were you. All right, guys, that's been it from me for today. Let me know if you liked this video. I apologize for the sound. It's been really bad. It was painful for me just to edit the video. But right now I'm using my laptop microphone as opposed to my external microphone, which seems to be better sound. So with that being said, guys, I will see you in the next one.